are these people?
Misty, Comrade Misty, how are you? Do we hear her? Probably not now. See that? How about now? What about now?
Can you hear me now?
Great. So episode 6, I am joined by a true friend. And of course, you guys can't see me, but Misty can, which is one of the cool things about Friends of Indy Left. Hi. But Indy is joined by a true friend, someone who gets what we're doing here and supports us full-throatedly. I mean, there are a few bigger supporters that we have, and we love her for it. The first purchaser of a Bongfather shirt, the first person to line up for a GoFundMe or a direct action protest in the streets. She's a mom, she's a wife, she's an activist, a radio show host, a multi-show streamer, a generous, willing guest, and champion of the underdogs. This is Misty Winston, a.k.a. Sarcasm Stardust, a.k.a. Comrade Misty. So that's your little intro. Hi, everybody.
That was very nice.
Well, thank you.
Very
I wrote it all out. And then I'm going to also to mention that Misty is the co-host and co-creator of Facts on the Ground, the creator and host of Bitch with Comrade Misty, and a co-host for Action for Assange, which streams 2 vigils every week on Tuesday and Friday nights. Most recently, Misty's been hired by TNT Radio, and yes, that means paid. Wonderful. Congratulations. To do a talk show every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. And again, you can be watching this live. We're live on 7 platforms right now. Actually, technically, it's like 10 or 11 when I broke it down, because we're live on Rockfin, YouTube, Odyssey, Facebook, Telegram, Twitch, Twitter, and we're actually on IndependentLeft.news. If you go there, you can see us streaming live there. We're on the link tree, because you can actually open it up and embed a link tree. There's so many different platforms and places you can go find us, so it's really cool. And again, I just appreciate you being here, and this is only the 6th one, and I'm only bringing on the people who I really cover and I really love, and just so many different things. Oh my God. I have, again, a whole list of questions for you, but it's not going to be anything like invasive, but I just want to talk. I just want to like learn more about you than I ever had known. Like about family, what you did before you got like into this stuff. And then talking about your evolution into doing what you're doing, into activism, and then into getting on camera, and kind of how that, how that happened, and how the hell we're sitting here right now having this conversation, right?
Yeah, totally. I get it. Like, I like that you do this. I don't necessarily like talking about myself, but I like hearing other people talk about themselves. Like, it's always fun to hear, everybody's kind of journey to get where they got and how they figured out that they wanted to do, independent media of whatever form. And just apologies to everybody that's listening. I'm a little stuffy. My allergies and everything are all jacked up, so I probably sound kind of gross, but I'm sorry about that. Not much.
Your Yeti sounds better than mine, and that's credit to Reef, but your Yeti sounds awesome. Say hi to everybody in chat. Thank you so much for being here. Hi to everybody on the Rockfin as well. We're live on Rockfin, of course, Odyssey, everybody. We're just chilling out, and we're gonna hang out and talk about what Misty's doing, what Misty's been up to, and how Misty got here, and how we got to have this conversation. Like I said, it's one of the most fun things that I do. In this journey that I've had in independent media, is meeting all the people that I just wanted to share your links, really. And then all of a sudden it just got to be like, hey, we started talking, and we got into these chats, and it's pretty crazy. I can't even remember exactly when I first watched you or saw you streaming or live. I don't know if it was an Assange event, but I think it was actually like somebody said something to me about like, watch out for that Misty girl type of thing, of course. I did come from the shitlib world, so
yeah.
So it's just kind of funny.
Get that a lot,
right? So yeah. It's just kind of hilarious the way it all evolved, and how involved I got with the Assange movement, and how involved you are with, of course, with everything. And again, so I want to learn first about like, okay, career, jobs, and kids. How old are the kids? And I know you got Jack at home as a cat, other animals. Other stories. What do we got?
I'm a cat hoarder. I'm a little bit of a cat hoarder. So my kids are 11 and 13. I have two girls. And they're a lot of fun, but also at that age where it's like every gray hair that I have has one of their names on it. It's very stressful trying to raise teenage girls or preteen girls. And then pet wise, I am a cat hoarder. So I never used to be a cat person, but we tried. My oldest daughter is autistic. And so we had heard great things about having dogs for kids with autism. And we're like, yeah, we're going to get a dog. So we made the mistake though of getting a puppy. And that was not a good plan. We didn't really think it through. We found this really adorable black lab puppy and we're like, yeah, let's do it. We didn't really process the information and we were just very excited. So we just did it. And my kid really likes her space. Like she likes her personal space, and puppies do not care about your personal space. So that didn't work out so well. She was scared of the dog. And it was like a whole thing. We tried it out for a while and it just didn't work out. So we ended up rehoming the puppy with my husband's cousin, who has which the puppy really lucked out because my husband's cousin has like this huge farm with a bunch of dogs and like she's out there living her best life now. So that didn't work out, but we knew that we wanted to have pets for our kids of some kind. So we figured cats would probably be the best way to go. I wasn't super excited about the idea because I was always a dog person. But we got two cats and those seem to take off. But we also live in the middle of, it's kind of, so we live in a weird location because it's in the country, but we're also on like a very near a main road and a main highway. And we're also right by a church. And so we get a lot of drop-offs, like kitten drop-offs and stuff. And so over the course of time, we've like, we've taken in numerous cats and rehomed them or whatever. And currently we have 7. We have 7 right now. So we have, let's see. Okay. We have Daryl, we have Bernie, we have Chibi, we have Jack, obviously. We have Angel, we have Grumpy, and we have Julian. So those are my 7 cats.
Of course we have
and I love them all. I know, right? Somebody was like trying to make fun of me and said something about having a cat named after Julian, and I'm like, yeah. What kind of cult leader would I be if I didn't have a cat named after Julian? Of course,
I'm surprised they're not all named Julian, to be honest. That's what a true cult leader would do, right?
I know, right? No, just the one named Julian. But yeah, they're here's one right there. Hi, who are you? I can't tell. So we have 2 that come here. Nope, I think that's Angel.
Shout out to a friend of mine.
They drive me nuts.
So shout out to a friend of mine. He's just told me that his wife's expecting, and that they're I don't know 14, 15 weeks in. He goes, we just picked out a name, and I'm like joking around. He's like, what do you think the name's gonna be? So I'm like, Herman, Fred. We were joking around. No, Julian, and he brought a tear to my eye. I was like, oh. I
love it.
So good.
I love it.
So good. So shout out to dude. I'm not gonna reveal who it is, but you know who you are.
Shout out to you
for sure.
Definitely.
So 11 and 13. How long you been married? How many years?
So we've been together for 15. We've been married for 10.
Okay.
This year's 10. This September will be 10.
That's great. I love that you don't really remember. And you know what? This December, I'm like, is it 2012? I think it was, 10.
I mean,
10.
after a certain point, does it really matter how long it's been? As long as you remember the anniversary date,
it all kind of runs
really
together.
Matter if it's been 10 years or 12 years or 13. It doesn't matter. We're still together. I
got to play this for my wife because yes, I need her to adopt that philosophy for sure.
Yeah, I'm like
as long as you got the date.
Yes, I'm the least stereotypical female when it comes to that stuff. Like
we're coming up on 10 years ourselves this year. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's us.
We've got girls, but twins that are 6. So I feel you on the estrogen. We've also got a son who's 4. So it's been pretty crazy around here. It's loud. And any tips for like what to expect with 2 girls that are already pushing back so hard and just wonderful gems and dreams and amazing and wow, so difficult.
We have a barn and my husband said that he's going to move into the barn.
Well, I have a
He's gonna
basement
go stay in the
office, and
barn.
I've
Yeah.
already half moved out here already, but no, I
Twin
can't
girls
hide.
is
I don't want
pretty
to miss it all.
brutal.
Yeah,
Wow, that's pretty brutal. That's
it's
a
fun at
lot.
times. It's fun at time. It's fun all the time. Actually, they're just amazing. They really
Right. It's
are.
just there's only gonna be a lot of drama.
It's constant fighting. It's constant breaking up. It's one-upsmanship all day long, and you have to
Yeah.
distribute the exact amount of cereal to the same, and they have the same number of apple slices, and it's just
Yep.
even all the time. So 10 years. Where was your honeymoon? Where'd you finally get to
Boston.
go? Boston. And what'd you do?
Yeah, which I
What
know
was
is weird. Most people go to like a beach or whatever. That's not us. We're like we're both kind of history nerds. And he had been to Boston when we first started dating. He always told me, "I'm going to take you to Boston. I'm going to take you to Boston." And it never happened, never happened, never happened. And so finally when we got married, I'm like, "You're fucking taking me to Boston."
And what'd you do? Did
So
you
we
went
went
to
to
a Sox
Boston.
game?
Yeah, we went to a Sox game, which was a lot of fun. It's a lot smaller. The ballpark's a lot smaller than I was expecting. It's very
Tiny.
small.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, we did like the whole nerdy, like the ghost tour. We rode the trolley system, which they have a really, if you've ever been to Boston, it's so dope. They have this amazing trolley tour system, so you can get, I think there's like 15 stops, and you can get on and off, and there's like one it'll pop by like every 10 or 15 minutes, and so you can like ride throughout the city, so you can get like a 2 or 3 day pass, and then you can just take that everywhere, and they'll give you like little like each driver has their own style, and they'll tell you different history things about the city or whatever. So I highly recommend that. It was so much fun. We just did like the nerdy like tours and all of that stuff, and obviously we went to the Italian district, and I ate my face off and drank
Course.
my face off, and it was just that's really our kind of a vacation. Like, not that I don't love a beach, but that was just kind of more our style.
And you do like the duck boat tour thing too? Everybody talks
We
about the
didn't do
duck boat
that.
tour. No.
Yeah, we saw them. We didn't do it though. We'll
Yeah.
go back. We went back for our 1 year anniversary. We'll go back. We were thinking about going back since it's our 10 year. We were thinking about going back in September. Which September in Boston is beautiful. Highly recommended.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Then
It's
you get
so
the leaves
nice.
changing and everything else. But yeah, my brother actually lived up there for a little while. So I got up there pretty often for a bit. It's been several years since I've been up there. Savvy's up there, so you go up there and hang out with her for
Yeah.
sure. Um,
Yeah.
so that's really funny. So Boston, that's definitely not a traditional honeymoon. Of course, you're not a traditional
No.
person, so that's not really a surprise. How are you managing your time so that you can fit family and job and this and organizing activism, everything that we do, and how are we doing this?
I'm
I don't
not.
know. We definitely have like robot duplicates or something. Like how
Yeah.
are you doing
When I
this?
saw that, when you told me, when that question came up and you were like, "How are you managing your time?" I just started laughing. I'm like, "I'm not. I live in a perpetual state of scramble. I'm constantly stressed out. It's better now. Like when we just got through DC, but when I was organizing DC, I was pretty much on my own. So I was trying to, and I started organizing that months ago. And then I just took the job at TNT like a month ago. So like
Hmm.
as we're going into the home stretch of getting ready to go into DC, I took on a job, which was a whole other thing. So yeah, I mean, I don't really manage my time that well, and I'm always stressed out, and I always feel like I'm not giving enough somewhere. And I think we all deal with that, where we're
Yeah,
all trying to figure out that balance. I haven't figured it out. I'd love it if somebody could teach me.
yeah, because I'm constantly getting it that like most of the people you deal with, they don't have like families and spouses, and there's a lot of single people that have a lot more disposable time. Like, yeah, but they're all working. Don't you get it? They don't have like the chance of a two-income family, and they've got to work all the
Yeah.
time, and then they're exhausted too, and then they've got lives and friends and things. This isn't what most, but we've got a whole group of amazing people in our world, and yeah, we're all managing and finding the time, and it's pretty remarkable.
Trying.
And again, yeah, trying, and and we're dealing with the trolls and the haters occasionally, not very often here lately, and thank goodness for that.
Oh,
It's
you want
it
some of mine?
no, well, no, I don't. It's been pretty
You can
cool
have some.
lately. Yeah, we got a lot of single dudes. I'm telling you, thirsty single dudes all over the place in this space. We need some more women for sure. I'd love to get some more
Yes.
single women and some more women. I try to amplify a ton of women streamers and women content creators, writers, you name it. So question, my other question, have you always lived in Ohio? Because I know you live in Ohio
Yes.
now. Always lived in state, never lived anywhere else. Favorite place outside of Boston to travel to? Anywhere? Because I know you've been to
Mm,
DC. You've been,
I don't like DC.
don't like DC. No, we don't like DC.
No, I mean, I like going to DC because of what I'm going there to do. I like going there to do what I do. I like going there. I mean, that means I'm hanging out with my like the people that get it, which is always fun. But
Hmm.
DC is it feels dirty, it feels heavy, it feels dark. It's very negative. It's a very oppressive feeling. I mean, I know that sounds kind of like woo woo, but it really, I mean, as soon as you hit inside the beltway, you can feel it. You're just like, oh, you feel like you need a shower. So I don't know. I think probably, I mean, I will probably never go there again because the travel to get there sucked, but Hawaii was beautiful.
Mm.
It really was. And I know that a lot of like right now Hawaiians are really trying to push for people not to visit. So I wouldn't dare right now anyways, just because the indigenous Hawaiian people are asking, the white folks to back off. So I would honor that. But I will say that when we did go, it was years ago. And we went to Maui and it was so beautiful. I did learn though that I have an allergy to fog, which is like the volcanic ash fog stuff that they get.
Really?
Uh,
Oh, that's
I
nice to
didn't know
find
it was a
out.
thing. I know. I had no idea it was a thing. And all of a sudden we're like, it's like mid-afternoon and like my eyes start swelling up and my nose is all stuffy. And I'm like, what is happening to me? And then the guys at the hotel were like, oh yeah, you just need to go inside. You're fine. And I'm like, okay. So I had to go hang out inside for the rest of the day and then I was fine. But I didn't know that was a thing. So I learned something new. But yeah, I would say Hawaii was probably, I mean, it was a bitch to get there, but it was really beautiful.
Yeah, do you have to fly through LA, San Francisco? What was your
I think we went through Phoenix and then I don't remember.
Yeah,
It's been so
that can be a
long.
hell of a trip
Yeah, it was like
from the
16
Midwest.
hours or something
Wow.
crazy. Oy.
Yeah, with
Yeah, it was
transfers and
brutal.
waiting for layovers and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Lady Alex M in the chat over on Rockfin says, you haven't lived until you experienced the smelly New York City subways. Well, I have. It's pretty nasty, and you don't really need to experience. Well, you can experience the rest of New York without getting in the subway for sure. But thank you, Lady Alexa. We love you. We appreciate your support. She's in all the streams, and I see her every day on Rockfin. She's in Slow News Day, and she's one of the fans. She's one of us for sure.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite questions is, what's the funniest job you've ever had? I'm sure you've had a ton of different jobs. You've done.
Funniest one. I don't know if it's necessarily the funniest one, but it was definitely the funniest experience because it only lasted an hour and 15 minutes. But I got hired and I started working at McDonald's during, I don't know if you remember the little Beanie Baby craze.
Okay.
That was a mistake. They were swamped and they like, here I am, this like 16-year-old kid, and everybody's yelling at me to do this, do that, and I'm like, dude, it's my first day. I just walked out. I'm like, I'm out of here. They sent me a check for like, I don't know, $6.84 or something like that, and I was like, I'm done with this. So I don't know how funny that is necessarily as a job, but that experience was pretty funny.
Do you
I
have
haven't really had like a ton of jobs, honestly.
no?
I mean,
Because
I
you went.
worked at a so this will date me incredibly, but I worked at a pager place. You guys remember
Okay.
pagers?
Sure.
So it was like then it like was morphing into a cell phone joint when I left. And then I worked at Kmart. Oh, I will say working at Kmart in the layaway department during Christmas. Oh, don't do it. Although I don't know if Kmart even exists anymore.
I think they just went out of business. We had one of the last Kmart's by
Yeah.
me, and they just closed their doors. I think like about 6 months or a year ago. They had like going out of business sale, so shut it all
Yeah.
shut it all down.
So and then I worked in restaurants, multiple different restaurants. I was a restaurant person. Honestly, I love restaurants. And if I didn't have kids, and in particular, if I didn't have a child who was on the spectrum and needed like a schedule,
Hmm.
I would go back to restaurants in a heartbeat. It's so much fun. Oh my God. I love bartending so much. Can I just tell you, I worked at like a sports bar kind of joint, bartending, and I love sports. And when you're a girl and you like sports and you're a bartender, you make so much money. Oh my God, you make so much
Sure.
money. All you
I,
gotta do is talk football, and I mean, you get so much money. So it's
and I
ridiculous.
think you can do
I
that
miss
a
it.
little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
miss
can
it.
talk
I miss
football
it.
a
I
little
miss
bit.
it. A
Yeah.
little bit. A
Okay.
little bit. Yeah.
Wow. So again, that's awesome. So funny job. So you bartending. See, I didn't know that you were a bartender. That you were in the restaurant
Hmm.
thing. So were you also like serving and doing hostessing and back stuff
Yeah.
also, or like just mostly
When I
bar? Or
initially started, so the first restaurant I ever worked at was a Frisch's, which I don't even know if that exists anymore. No, not Frisch's. I'm sorry, a Shoney's, which I don't know if that even exists anymore. So I was a server there, and then I went to Frisch's. I was a server there. Oh, no. I lied. First restaurant I worked at was Bob Evans. I was a hostess at Bob Evans. That
oh
was the
wow,
place I
okay.
didn't serve. It's the only place I didn't serve. Then I served at Shoney's. I served at Frisch's, and then I went to Olive Garden. I was a server there, and then that's where I made the initial transition to a bartender. So I was like a server and a bartender. I would do different shifts, multiple different shifts or whatever. And then yeah, I went to the sports bar joint and was a bartender there for a long time. So yeah, I did a little bit of everything. I was a busser. Like there were times I would bus. I cross trained in the kitchen for a little while. I thought I was going to go into management. So um yeah, it was
Yeah,
fun. I love the restaurant industry.
I could totally see telling Misty that my food is not well done enough and seeing that reaction. Like I don't know which character in Waiting are you exactly? Like I know you've seen that movie. You were in
I don't
you
think
were in,
so.
you've never seen.
I'm not a movie person.
Oh my God. Okay. If you were in the
I don't watch
restaurant
a lot of
business,
movies.
one of these days
I'll
you've
watch
got,
it. Waiting. I know. I remember
it's
hearing
called
people talk about
Waiting.
it. It's older, right?
Yeah, it's got
It's
Ryan
older.
Reynolds and Anna Faris, and it's
Okay.
just a total take on the restaurant movie, and they all work at like a
I think I have
Bennigan's
seen that, but
type
it's
of
been
place.
ages. I don't
It
remember.
yeah, it's been a while. It's been quite a while, but
No, I'm really good in the restaurant. Like I mean, I guess I am tooting my own horn, but I'm a really phenomenal server and bartender. And I think it's because I have severe ADHD. And so my brain, it's like controlled chaos. The restaurant industry is controlled chaos, and I
mhm.
thrive there. You know what I mean? Like my brain, it just like fires on all cylinders, and I instinctually know everything that's happening. I can remember everything that's going on. And you know, that's just like where my brain loves to be, you know what I mean, in that controlled chaos kind of environment.
Well, you're living in a controlled chaos environment, so let's talk about your controlled chaos environment a little bit now. So you started going on camera. That's what I want to hear about. Like, how did you make the jump like into actually like were you a guest on some streams? Were you I'm guessing that's kind of how it starts where somebody's like, "Hey, can you come on like even on a podcast where it's not even necessarily on camera?" And that's kind of how it started
I
here,
blame
but
Jimmy Dore.
whoa.
I blame Jimmy Dore.
Well,
So the
okay.
story is, I had been considering starting a show. I had been kind of vacillating between doing politics or potentially, I'm a true crime nerd. I was going to do a true crime channel, and cover true crime stuff, which Jesse and I actually kind of morphed together. We were doing Facts Remain, which is just like a true crime episode that we were doing every Tuesday, which is on hiatus because I'm trying to do the TNT thing and just get my schedule figured out. But so I had been bouncing the ideas back and forth between my head in my head. And then the summer of 2019, I went to Chicago to see Jimmy Dore in concert. And Andrew Smith and Taylor Hudak were both there. And they had just started Action for Assange. So Action for Assange started on the heels of Unity for Jay, which was a long running online series that was dedicated to covering the Julian Assange case. And that they shut that down. And so Andrew and Taylor decided that they wanted to continue, kind of pick up the mantle and continue that effort. So they started Action for Assange. And I had been mutuals with both of them on Twitter for a very long time. We were friends, we had talked, all of that good stuff. So we were all in Chicago. They had decided to come to Chicago to, they were handing out wristbands, and they were handing out signs. It was like kind of make the line outside of the Jimmy Dore show kind of a mini protest. So I introduced myself to them and like, hi, good to meet you in person, blah, blah, blah. We ended up sitting next to each other at the Jimmy Dore show. I got drunk and Andrew was like, you should come on the vigil. You should come on as a guest. It'll be so fun. And me being drunk, I'm like, yeah, I'll totally do that. And then I woke up and was sober and was like, fuck, I totally just agreed to be on somebody's show. But I was like, okay, but I can, I'll just, I won't mention it. They'll just forget that I said it. It'll be fine. Well, if you have ever met Andrew Smith, that's not a thing. He's very persistent. So they had to bug me. He is. He is. And so they had to bug me for a couple of months. And I was finally like, okay. And so I actually went back and looked because I was curious. I couldn't remember what day it was. It was August 28th, 2019 was my very first appearance on camera on the Action for Assange Vigil, which then morphed into, will you come back and be a guest again? Which then morphed into, hey, we really like you. Will you be a guest host? Which then morphed into, hey, why don't you just be a permanent co-host? Which then morphed into, now I'm kind of running it because Andrew's taking a break. So
yeah, I need to take a break, and this is getting out of hand. Exactly. Can we? Can we go? Can you take over? And amazingly, you're doing that.
So
yeah,
I blame Jimmy Dore.
Well, Jimmy Dore for having a show in Chicago 3 years ago. Okay, well, we always like to blame Jimmy Dore. It's all Jimmy Dore's fault.